Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm taking a little break from our identity series because it was Valentine's Day this week, and I decided that I wanted to do a little episode for you about Valentine's. So we will come back to our identity series next week. But everywhere around the world pretty much now celebrates Valentine's. It's just become kind of a nice little holiday to celebrate relationships, to celebrate love. Everyone's familiar with it. But I want to kind of take a different approach to it. So, if you follow me on social media, then you would have seen a little video potentially. If you looked, I posted a little video about it on Valentine's Day, but I wanted to expand on it a little bit and talk to you about kind of what I'm thinking about Valentine's Day. So, first of all, I love the idea of having a day that we set aside where we celebrate relationships and celebrate love and all of that. I'm a sap. I'm cheesy. I love love. It's great. But Valentine's is actually not a day that I care about. I don't not like it. It doesn't really make a difference to me. And my perception on it is just that I don't know that I love the emphasis put on that day as somehow something special, because my perception is that a relationship should be celebrated all the time. And of course, just like a birthday, we take that day to do a little extra celebrating, and I love that. But what I guess my experience in my job has unfortunately shown me that for a lot of relationships, this day is given so much attention and so much effort, but those same relationships that prioritize Valentine's and make such a big deal about it aren't always very good at prioritizing their relationship throughout the year. So that bothers me. As someone who values relationships very strongly, I put a lot of importance into my own personal relationship with my husband. Just relationships in general in my life are very important. And as a therapist, I think relationships are incredibly important. I love working with people that are trying to be better in their relationships, whether they're in individual counseling, trying to figure out how to be better in their relationship, or if I'm working with a couple who's either working on a relationship that's not in a great place, or premarital counseling, trying to be in a good place before they get married. I love it. I love working with people in relationships. So, with that being said, my perception of a relationship, I have high standards, I guess. I have high expectations of a relationship. And so, to me, if you are going to celebrate Valentine's Day, then I want you to celebrate more than just Valentine's Day. And so, my little video that I posted was basically challenging you that it's just a day. Valentine's is just one day. And it's amazing the hype that is kind of made of Valentine's. I mean, you can't find gifts around, if you're shopping the weekend before Valentine's Day, everything's sold out because everyone participates in Valentine's. It's not a religious holiday, it's not anything cultural, it's just a society. Like everyone around the world now celebrates, well, most people most societies tend to celebrate Valentine's Day. And so it's such a big deal. But my challenge is, do you put that same amount of effort into your relationship the other days of the year? Or are you just that person that shows up for your relationship on Valentine's Day? And if you are the person that just shows up on Valentine's Day, then I want this to be something that you kind of let this be a gut check where you're like, okay, I obviously need to do better. And honestly, I'm saying this to you regardless of what kind of relationship you're in, whether you're in a new relationship, or if you've been married for 40 years, or if you are in a really positive place with your spouse, or if you're in a really turbulent place with your spouse. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're not married, whatever your kind of relationship you're in, you need to do better. You need to spend more time investing in your relationship. As someone who does tremendously value my relationship and I feel like I do a pretty good job, I will always say I could do better. I can always do better. I could always try harder. I could always be more considerate of my husband, could always be more attentive. I could always be more um, aware of what, he needs, what he's going through. How do I be a better wife? That's always a priority for me. Same as a mom. Those two are equally important to me. And that's why I like Valentine's. I'm like, it's just a day. Like, yay, yeah, cookies or chocolate, fantastic. But like, I don't think much of it. I don't care. My husband and I both kind of are on equal ground of like, okay, cool, But it's not a special day because I just think that and it's not because I have anything against Valentine. I think it's just because I see how many people put so much effort into just this day and then the rest of the year they don't do anything about their relationship. I'm like, I'd rather not. Like, I'm good. I don't need to get swept up in the rush of all of it just with everyone else because I think out of principle I just get annoyed. But so I am kind of calling you out. You might feel called out. I am calling you. I'm calling all of us out. I'm calling myself out. We all need to do better in our relationships. And you've heard me talk about relationships a ton. I did a series about it. It is, I will go on in talking about all the ways that we can do better, how we can continue to do better. We never hit a point where we're done. We will continue needing to work on our relationships for the entirety of time that we're in a relationship. And so I want you to think about how much effort you put into your Valentine's Day, as whether you're the man or the woman involved. How much effort did you put in? Did you really scramble? Did you feel like you had to really do a good job and come up with a great plan and come up with the perfect gift? And if so, great. But what are you going to do to implement some of that throughout your year? And again, I'm not expecting you to be showering your partner with gifts every single day of the year. Like, it's expensive. And you can run out of ideas, but it's not about the gifts. It's about the attention to the relationship. It's about the attention to the other person. It's about being considerate, being compassionate, thinking to yourself like, okay, did I spend enough time talking to my spouse today? Did I check on them and see how they're doing? Did I ask them how their day is going? Did I ask if they needed anything? Did I compliment them? Did I encourage them? Those are all things that nurture a relationship. And that is so much more important than that one day a year we buy each other chocolate or candy or flowers or whatever. Because none of that really matters long term. It's a gesture. On Valentine's Day, we do these things to really give this gesture of consideration and love. Hey, I love you enough that I went and bought you flowers or cookies or a present or whatever. But that gesture needs to be implemented all year long. Being able to just brew their pot of coffee before they wake up because that'll make them smile or make their morning easier. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you what those things are. I'm just going to tell you that the amount of energy that you spent in your Valentine's Day, you need to figure out how to not let that just be your Valentine's specialty. Do it all the time. And I've had people tell me that, they're disappointed in how their spouse or significant other spent Valentine's Day or planned for Valentine's Day. And first of all, I think it's an equal thing. I think it doesn't matter what your role is or your gender in your relationship. You both are required and obligated to invest in the relationship and to do something to celebrate each other. But if you're disappointed in how your Valentine's Day goes, how about the rest of the year? Does that mean you're disappointed all year long and you just don't bring it up because it's not Valentine's Day? Or are you really happy all year long, but you put a lot of emphasis on this day? And I'm not going to tell you not to emphasize Valentine's Day. I think it's a sweet holiday. It's nice to celebrate love and relationships. So please, by all means, make the most out of it. Celebrate the heck out of it. But don't be the kind of couple that only celebrates their relationship on Valentine's Day. That is my challenge. That is my call out to you. Do whatever you want on Valentine's Day. Just don't be that couple that ignores your relationship the rest of the year, doesn't do anything to try to nurture each other the rest of the year. So with that being said, where do you go from here? If you're in a relationship where you're like, oh, we're awesome, we do stuff all year long, we really show each other how valuable we are to each other, all of that, then just keep it up. Keep upping your game, keep making sure that other person knows how much you love them. Try to be playful, try to have fun, try to go out and do stuff together, or just set time aside for each other, even in your home. And if you're the kind of couple that does not do that, then have a conversation. And I'm not saying that like one of you needs to be responsible for it and the other person can just sit back and enjoy it. I'm saying you both need to. And so bring that up and be like, hey, I think we need to do better. I would like us to not just go nuts on Valentine's, but like try to find ways where we can be sweet to each other, surprise each other. Like maybe throughout the year, try to, remember, hey, I know you love this candy. So I'm from time to time, I'm just going to grab it on my way home. Or when I go grocery shopping, I'm just going to get it for you and I'm just going to come home and surprise it for you. Or I'm going to, you know, make reservations for us to go. So I don't care. Whatever it is that you did on Valentine's Day, try to do that more. Buy the flowers or whatever. And so just throughout, be random, be spontaneous, have fun. Your relationship should be fun. And you've heard me talk about that, about the importance of being in a relationship with someone that you enjoy spending time with, enjoy, where they are, there's a friendship at the root of that. And that is on you to really do it, maintain it, sustain it. And no one can tell you how to do that. I mean, I can give you ideas, other people might be able to give you ideas, but at the end of the day, it's really just about who you are, who your spouse is, and what you guys like to do together. And just do more of that. And like I said, have conversations. If you feel like you're boring in your relationship, talk about it. Hey, what do we do to kind of get this a little bit more like where we can spend more time together, or we make this more fun and we do more fun things together? Have that conversation. You don't have to, be on your own and your creative, approach to this. Do it together, but then also challenge yourself to do better. Do you need to set an alarm on your phone that tells you midday to send a text telling your spouse, I love you, or I'm thinking about you, I'm hoping you're having a good day, or sending memes or jokes, whatever makes you guys happy as a couple, just implement that, insert that into your day. And then take an interest. If you're the kind of couple that just kind of each operates on an island of your own, like you're in the same home, but you don't really talk much or you don't share interests or hobbies, make a point to try to find a common interest that you both can enjoy together, but you won't know till you ask. And the reality is, kind of pulling in some of our identity conversation, we grow and change throughout our lives. Our relationships are the same. If we're growing as individuals, then our relationships are also growing as well. You just hope that you grow in the same direction so that you continue to nurture your relationship. So as you grow and you change, you need to be in touch with each other about, hey, this is what I find that my thoughts on this subject have changed. Let's talk about it. Or, I don't really enjoy this hobby anymore, but I like this. Will you go do this with me? Whatever it is, make sure that you're adapting in your relationship and the way that you take care of each other. And one of my most the most important things that I think about in a relationship is just being considerate of each other, considering how the other person is feeling, how their day is, what they need. And if you're trying regularly to think about your partner and think about how they are, what they need, what you can do to be a better partner, and if they're doing that same thing for you, then everyone's needs are getting met. But if you forget that you need to consider how tired your partner is, or let's say you get home and you're used to doing a certain chore around the house, but you feel exhausted and you don't have that conversation or communication with your partner, well, how are they supposed to know that you need a little help, or that you're not okay, or that you had a hard day at work? If you're just shut down or you're quiet and you haven't communicated that, how are they going to know that you may have a need to be listened to or to be helped, or maybe you just need to go to bed early and they need to take over with the kids, whatever it is? You have to communicate, but it's not just on us to tell our partners how we feel. It's on our partners to check in. Hey, how are you doing? You look like you're a little tired. You seem really quiet today. Are you all right? Or even if you seem totally fine, hey, do you need help with that? What can I do to help you? But again, it's reciprocated. You both have to constantly be checking in on each other, asking each other how you're doing, just conversing, interacting like you would with a friend. And by doing that, you know what your partner is doing and what they're going through, and you can fill in anything there that they might need from you. You're not a mind reader. You never will be a mind reader, and neither will your partner. So invest that time, invest that energy, and cut each other some slack. If you don't get it right, I hope that your partner isn't holding that against you, and vice versa. If you mess up, talk about it. But again, it's like the person that plans the Valentine that the other person's disappointed in. Well, how much pressure did you guys put on yourselves to have the perfect Valentine when you maybe could have just talked about it and said, hey, what do we want to do together? Well, let's do this. We both would enjoy this. Let's go ahead and plan this. I don't want one or the other to feel responsible for keeping that spark alive or keeping that love alive. You're both responsible for dating each other. You're both responsible for investing in each other. So take that responsibility. If both of you take 100% of that responsibility, then everyone is being, everyone's needs are being met. You're doing 100%. You're giving 100%, and that other person's giving 100%. Then there's no gap. And then if something's not right, you stop, you talk about it, you fix it, and you move on, and you continue to give 100%. But right now, if I ask you, are you giving 100% in your relationship? You're the only one that knows if you are or if you're not. And we all could use a tune-up or tweaking it a little bit to get better. So I'm calling you out. I'm challenging you. Be better in your relationship. Give 100%. Doesn't matter what else you got going on in your life. I know you probably have kids and work and stress and all kinds of other things. You have to focus on your relationship throughout all of that. It's not easy. There are days where you don't get to give your relationship all the attention that you want to give, and that's fine. That's normal. But don't neglect your relationship. You have a couple of minutes every single day where you can check on your partner. How are they doing? Give them a hug. Give them a kiss. Just be present. And anyone who says, I don't have time at all, that's just not good enough. You have a minute. You have 2 minutes. You have time to pick up your phone and send a text or walk in and stop and just make eye contact. Hey, I love you. Hey, how was your day? You have that time. And if you don't, you have to reprioritize some things because you need to make time for your relationship, whether it's 1 minute a day, 2 hours a day, that's up to you. But you need to invest some amount of yourself every single day in your relationship. So I'm going to wrap up here. I hope everyone did have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I really, really hope that this year for your relationship is a stronger year and is a better year than it has been before, and it all will depend on how much effort you want to put into it. All right, folks, I'll talk to you later. Bye.